What's going on, guys? Spud here, and welcome to episode 40. Yes, episode 40 of the Roundup. In today's episode, the Vegas Falcons actually won a series, and of course it was against OpTic. And it was a very, very impressive showing from Vegas Falcons. I'm happy for them, but at the same time, what has happened to OpTic this weekend? They look like they were major two selves again. Miami Heretics, though, beat OpTic and FaZe in one of their best online weekends in the franchise's history. We also had Toronto Ultra beating LA Thieves in a very, very exciting Sunday with two reverse sweeps. We're also just going to be looking through the rest of the matches this week and also a roster change, which is going to mean, if this roster change happens, we are going to have a Rookie of the Year ladder towards the end of the season, thankfully, even though there's literally only going to be a few weeks of it. And we all know who's going to be at number one. We're also going to be doing our predictions for next week's matches, the final matches of the online qualifiers, and looking for Major 3, that is, and looking at the standings because there is a three-way tie for 6th. And Minnesota ROKKR again, more Game 5 defeats. It's going to cost them like it's cost many teams in previous seasons. Their champs' hopes are looking slimmer now. If you are new, please do drop a follow. No, we're not on Twitch. Please subscribe to the channel, it's free, it really helps me out. It would mean a lot. We're also going to be doing community questions for the first time. I've got 3 questions. I'll answer them in the best way that I possibly can. Please like the video as well. It is really appreciated. 40 episodes of the Roundup, people. That's actually crazy. Honestly, I'm so grateful for the support, especially in like the recent ones. I feel like the support's been pretty good. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And let's just get straight into the matches because there's a lot to talk about this week. Some drama-filled matches. Now, hopefully my internet will be better this week. I do apologise about the issues last week. So we're going to start with Miami Heretics here as they take down OpTic Texas in 3-1 fashion. And this was a very, very simple series for the Miami Heretics. I don't know what happened to OpTic here. Super had a brilliant series. He looks like a super edition, no pun intended. I mean, Real had a bit of a rough one, but the team bailed him out. Really superb from Miami Heretics. Who obviously look like they're going to be in a. It looks like they're in winners bracket already now, going into their home major, which should be good. If we look on the other side, OpTic's side, I mean, Shotzi didn't have much damage. No one really played well. Hugh did okay. I'm going to be honest about Skies, chat. I don't think Skies is. I think honestly, the whole OpTic situation, we'll talk about it more when we get to the Falcon series. But there's been a lot of drama, a lot of people talking about OpTic on Twitter after this Falcons and Miami defeat, and a lot of people actually make really good sense, in my opinion. But yeah, this was a really good series from Miami. I mean, look at how easy the hard points were for them. They just outslayed them heavily. Skies went double negative in map 1. Shotzi 18 and 26 in map 4. Just not good enough, unfortunately, from OpTic. And after how they played last week, especially that game against Cloud9 New York, I was expecting them to get to be 4-0 this weekend and almost be like really close to making champs, but unfortunately they're back in the mix now. Then we have Vancouver Surge against LAG, the Gentlemates. Absolutely shit. They are just the Boston Breach of 2025. In terms of Boston Breach last year, had a few good players on the team but couldn't win any matches. They're just the same. Nasty had a bit of a rough one actually, because I think Nasty's been really good this year. I actually would argue he could have been. I mean, look, all 4 of these players are good. Obviously, Neptune's a standout. But I think Nasty's had a pretty good year. A bit of a rough one for him there, though. On the other side, Kismet is not having a good season. He really isn't. But yeah, a pretty convincing win that, nonetheless, for Surge. Then we have the Carolina Royal Ravens versus Minnesota ROKKR. And this one is another round 11 defeat, but look at how close the last 3 maps were. I mean, everyone played well on the ROKKR side. Fun enough on the Ravens side. Gwyn played well, TJ played well, Vivid did okay. Slash had a bit of a rough one, but they weren't able to win this in Game 5 fashion. I'm going to show you the ending of Map 4, Map 5 here, because this was a brilliant series to watch.
Side battling back in will be ROKKR as another lead change comes in. Now Royal Ravens in front and only need 14 as the point is contested. No one can find a foothold inside.
They just gotta deal with this guy. He is an absolute monster right now.
He's a tank. Now the stun, that's how they deal with him. That'll get him out of it. You're just trying to contest as best you can. Get a foot in if you are ROKKR and get this to rock. But the rotation early, the league through is gonna be 6. It's TJ that's taking the route. You can't win it here, though. TJ going to be first on rotation, and yeah, just get off it. You can't win it there. Time to go. Get there first. How many can TJ get? Because he's going to be like a 1-on-4. He only gets 1, but at least he gets 1. First into the point with ROKKR. Now another lead change. ROKKR go back in front. Vivid biding his time. Gwyn through on the pinch. Gwyn and Vivid both able to get one. The break is in. Estrel, the only one that walks away with a kill. He's trying to dive. Geo now trying to contest. 3 seconds needed for Royal Ravens to do it. Last push. An opportunity for ROKKR. They go, but they don't go quickly.
I get that ROKKR, obviously I think it was Gio, I get that he had to wait for his teammates, but like it made it even more, they even had less time to even get on the point. I mean, they didn't even get onto it. But yeah, that was good play from Ravens on that P4. And then obviously the round 11. Minnesota ROKKR have had 4, obviously we'll go to their other series shortly, but they've had 4 game 5s and 3 of them have gone to round 11. If they'd won all of these map 5s, they'd be in the top 8. That's just how much a season can change, especially when you've got 5 teams fighting for 3 places for champs as well.
Kara, maybe for Geo, looking that way.
Oh my. I mean, what are you finding here info-wise? I mean, you're just letting them plan A, and you're just gonna play retake, okay?
I guess so. Out of the car, and now into the action.
Oh, there's a trophy here. He's not gonna know. The trophy's gonna allow him to just sit here. They can't clear this.
Gwyn bounces, but he gets through.
Oh my god, Gwyn has been so good in the middle, and now he might win them the game.
Can they trade it out? Gwyn, probably one of the map, may not matter, but you still have Kenny and Geo trying to do this. 20 seconds left to go. TJ gonna get ripped a bit, but able to reposition. They've got to go.
It's on Geo on the flank, but I don't know if they have time.
Kenny's able to get one. Geo gets one as well. 1 versus 1. TJ and Kenny.
No time.
There's just no time to get it done. TJ can check it. Kenny gets the kill. Goes on 5 straight.
Flank, but I don't know if they have time.
I swear I heard someone scream. I also got some like antivirus message on my computer, so I do apologise about that. Let me just listen to this again if anyone heard that scream.
Kenny's able to get one. Geo gets one as well. 1 versus 1.
Who the hell was that? That can't have been Alley Cat. I mean, it could have been, but yeah, GG. Honestly, Gwyn had a superb player there to win them that map. So yeah, GG's. Really nice play that from Gwyn. Right, then we move on to Saturday's matches, and after Heretics beat OpTic, it's like, alright, that was probably just a bit of luck that they won that, and then Miami win 3 maps in a row and take down FaZe, and Metals probably has his best series of the season so far, 1.24 with nearly 12k damage, 105 kills, a superb series from the Spaniard. But fair play to Miami Heretics because they are getting these wins when it matters most. You know, they had a really good split 1, obviously. They managed to get top 3 at the LAN. They had a really rough split 2. They've brought in Super, and they're playing Super. Like, yeah, really good Heretics. I think Heretics might make champs now. I've changed my mind. I'll show you this round 11.
Everyone in the minimap just trying to race across. Super though, gets the first blood. Simp gonna get dropped. He's at 4 and 9. Just an abysmal map from him. Everyone getting cut down. But Simp or BZ draws still a chance maybe to win this. BZ getting tagged up a bit, but doesn't lose too much HP. Can't chow this, and he does. Able to get away with his life as well. Now down to a 2 versus 2.
They gave up mid. There was nobody mid window. There was nobody mid window for Miami, so he just gets back to his teammate. 2v2.
Around and around we go. Will they catch him? Do they spot him? They do get the spot, but take some shots there and not going to be able to hunt them down. So we slow down for a moment with 40 seconds remaining in the round 11.
It's not a 1v1 dance. It's a 2v2 dance now. And well, Metals is able to find a BZ. A BZ gets caught. Draza has the info. They're just playing corner to corner. Metals just throws the shoulder. Rentor helped me out. There's the help, the assistance.
Oh my god,
I think it's one more bullet in both.
It's Superman.
What is happening?
He can't win it. Heretics get it done.
Yeah, that was definitely Alley Cat in that ROKKR series. Yeah, good play there from Miami. What I will say, a really rough weekend from FaZe. I mean, Simp had a really bad weekend. So did Draza and Abizi. Celium obviously has been the best player in the game, still continues to be. I'm going to say my MVP ladder has changed a bit because I actually looked at my MVP ladder and I thought the most valuable player, you can't really have the top three all from one team when there is players that... I'm going to say this now. There is a change in the top three. And I think there's a couple of players that could be in this top three. I think the top six are the standout players this year. But you'll see what I've done when we get to it. Now, this is the series we're going to talk about the most, I think. Vegas Falcons have finally won a series, guys, and they won 2 hard points. OpTic were very lucky to even get it to a map 4. I mean, look, everyone played superbly well on that Vegas Falcons side. Arcity's had himself a very good series. His best series in God knows how long. In the CDL. Dashi played well, everyone else was terrible. Skies, yeah, there's a reason he was doing crap on Gentlemates. Yeah, he gets his chance on OpTic, he'll be gone next season. Huke probably will be gone next season. Shotzi has been terrible ever since he said that pros, ever since he started talking shit about other players, he started to play shit himself. I think Dashi's the only player currently that can hold his head up high. Maybe Huke as well on this OpTic team. There's people that are saying Shotzi should be dropped next year. I can't see them doing that, even though they've got a point. I think Dashi should be the only person that guarantees a spot on this OpTic roster. It's genuinely horrific what I'm watching. It's awful. How on earth did OpTic win champs last year? They might not even make champs this year. Now, first of all, I want to give my props to Falcons. They played a great series. They played well against Miami as well, who've just beaten OpTic and FaZe. Yeah, they're obviously not going to make champs, but, you know, they could have a go at Major 3 and Major 4 and EWC. Instead of showing you the end of the maps, because there isn't much point, we're going to actually be looking at some other stuff from this. So this is the game-winning reaction of the Vegas Falcons after they won the series. And I'm just so happy for Xnid. He deserves it so much. I'm actually so happy for Xnid, and obviously for Claire as well. Yeah, it's a shit situation for OpTic, of course, to lose to Falcons. You don't want to be the first team to lose to the worst team. But I think these guys are better than Gentlemates, to be honest. Let's be honest. Vegas Falcons are not the worst team in the league now. It's probably Gentlemates. That regardless, this is terrible for OpTic. What the hell is flying over my house? It's so loud. You probably can't hear that, but it's like an aircraft or something. Yeah, well done to Falcons though. They deserved the win. They played really well. And then Xnid was in the winner's circle, and he was just listen to this. You can hear him.
Inshallah.
Xnid, man, how much fun? How much fun are you having right now?
How can I say? I'm so happy. I am so, like, I feel everything now.
I love that, man.
I'm genuinely so glad that the Vegas Falcons stopped the all-Saudi thing because it wasn't working, but they kept Xnid so they have a Saudi player in the league because this guy's good enough to be in the league. I still think Kix was good enough to be in the league, but obviously whatever's happening back home, he's actually playing in Saudi COD right now. Yeah, I'm so glad for Xnid. But obviously there was a really good point that someone made where it was like, could Xnid be on another team in the future if Falcons were to go for like a mega team next year? Like go for a super team like Thieves have? Would Xnid be able to get on another roster? Obviously, you know, it'll be learning more English as well, but you can obviously communicate with his teammates. The kid's got passion, and I've talked about his passion quite a lot, but you know, the way he reacted after winning a series, all that hard work that he's put in, it was all worth it ultimately. Yeah, they're not going to make champs. If they win a game at the LAN, it's going to be absolute limbs. As long as it's not against OpTic, I cannot be dealing with another OpTic defeat. Yeah, honestly though, OpTic, there's definitely a possibility that Shotzi's not on the roster next year, in my opinion. And I predicted Shotzi to get MVP. No. I honestly look at how Pred's playing for Falcons, chat. Look at how Kenny's playing for Minnesota ROKKR. They weren't the issue. I'm not saying Shots is the issue, but that team just didn't work this year. It worked last year, they won champs. They also had a terrible split, remember that though. But they just couldn't win game 5. This is different. They couldn't win maps in split 2. I do think that the players, Kenny's still a great player now. I didn't think this, but I believe that now. Fred looks fine. I think OpTic will regret this in the long term. I don't think they should have made a roster change. They should have just stuck it out and then just seen what happened in the future, because this just isn't it. The team's worse now. They might win series, but their team is worse. Now, obviously, when we get to the community question thing, we'll talk a bit more about OpTic, because that is to do with one of the questions that I got via DM. So, yeah. Anyway, next we have Boston Breach versus Gentlemates again. And this one was won by Boston Breach 3-1. Round 11 win for the Gentlemates on the S&D. They were 5-1 down as well. But apart from that, this was very easy for Boston Breach. Snoopy had a very good series. He's had a good year, Snoopy. I think everyone played well on the Breach side. On the other side, yeah, Johnny had a good series, but not really much to talk about from them. They're just not good enough. I'll show you the round 11 though that Gentlemates did win.
It's up 1-1. Calls out to his teammates, and they could just ISO. They should just ISO him. No, unless Snoopy catches him. I was about to say, Persia's going to drop, so that's, I mean, best case at least. LAG looking for 5 straight. Cammy's got one right above him. Bomb planted. He's going to catch him. Fellow's going to drop. 2 versus 2 now.
And Snoopy just runs away. They're trying to hunt him. They're trying to hunt him. And Lunar's, he's away from his teammate, but he wins the one-on-one.
Cammy just centered horribly, just off to the right. Can't hit the shots. All on Snoopy now to make the play. Just under 30 seconds to go.
This is a 5-1 comeback.
It's looking that way. There's just so little time, and they're both split. Like, how's he going to hunt down both players?
That's one way.
Okay, wins one. 16 seconds now to go. I mean, thinking the chow's going to come, but it doesn't. Lunars is just holding, and Snoopy's just guessing. No time to do this. Just no time. Doesn't think Lunars is on that side, and he is. 5 straight rounds.
Yeah, nice. Lunars obviously had a really good map there to finish off them 2 kills. I mean, he was 5 and 7 before that, but obviously his 2 kills to kill Cammy and Snoopy won them that map. But yeah, they don't win any series there. I don't know what the hell Gentlemates have done. Gentlemates and Falcons are out of championship contention. Everyone else is up for grabs. I mean, look, I think the top 5 are secure now. Not mathematically, but the top 5 are secure. Anyway, our last game on Saturday was a walk. I don't even think I was awake for this, but yeah, just dominant from the LA Thieves. Hydra actually played really well this weekend. If Thieves had won their other series, he would have probably been MVP for the week. But I think there's a clear-cut MVP. Well, no, there's 2 people up for grabs, but I know who I'm picking. But yeah, really good series from Thieves. I mean, Envoy had a bit of a rough one. You know, he kind of went into his Toronto Ultra Envoy there in map 1, but yeah, good series from Thieves. Pretty dominant. Cloud9, you know, it's going to be so hard for them to make champs. I genuinely believe that. I don't know who they've got yet. I haven't looked at the matchups for next week yet. I kind of want to do that whilst looking at the standings as well. So I'm going to move the standings there, and once we've done our predictions, just so if we know there's any teams that are on that champs cusp, you know. Anyway, we start with Sunday with Minnesota ROKKR. Now, this Sunday was amazing, chat. Minnesota ROKKR, another round 5 defeat, but they get reverse sweeped here by Cloud9. And Cloud9 with a massive win. If they lost this, I think their chances of making champs were very slim, unless they went on a run at Major 3. Sib has a brilliant series. I tell you what, everyone played well on Cloud9's side. On the other side, I think Geo had a bit of a rough one for how he's been playing on this team. But look at how close the map 4 was. We'll show you up the clutch here from Cloud9.
It'll be tight though. Every gunfight, a massive one. ROKKR coming away with the first two. A chance for Minnesota to get some substantial time here on stage. Geo, the only defender at mid-map, has to provide for the members inside the hard point. Only takes one. Follow up from Kenny, just spamming the corner. 245 to 230, but Cloud9 are finding the kills. Contest is in. Down to the game clock now you start to look. 20 seconds on it. Nero's still alive playing contest. This is still ticking. You gotta deal with it if you're Cloud9. They find a couple of kills, and now Minnesota are stretching, trying to get to the hard point.
And there's only one more player here. Astro's gonna fall. C9 just need one more wave, and this is a game 5 series.
Geo on the pinch. Geo on the pinch. Can he get here in time? Lead swap starts to come through. Geo finds one, but nothing more. You have to reflip this if you're Minnesota.
That was a superb hold from Cloud9. Obviously, Geo got two, but I think it was Sib that killed him and then killed another player. Yeah, honestly though, that was such a crazy map for. That was such a crazy map for Sib 45 and 31. That's why he's MVP for that. Yeah, Cloud9 needed that. I don't think when this season started they expected to be where they are. I thought they'd be the 4th best team, but then again I thought OpTic could be the 3rd best team, and now look at that. But if you thought one reverse sweep wasn't enough, I was absolutely shocked that Carolina. Look, these two teams are relatively similar, but Surge are better. I was shocked to see Surge 2-0 down, but they said, "No, we're not having it," and they do win this series. And Nasty there he is, Nasty, back to doing what he does best. I think he's had a brilliant year. Everyone played well on that side. Now Vivid had a really rough series. Now obviously we'll talk about Vivid because obviously there is a roster change coming for him. But it's funny because when they beat ROKKR, TJ was asked about potentially of going for Kenny, and he said the team that they've got is good. And then Vivid's getting dropped. I mean, 7,700 damage in a 5-map series. What on earth happened? So 2,000 in map 1. Right. 2,000. Yeah, he was terrible in the S&Ds. Terrible in the S&D. He had a terrible series. And I think this was a good roster for Vivid to get onto, but Ravens know they'll make champs, but they obviously want to not just be at champs, they want to push for something, to actually have a goal. And I think a roster change was needed, but we'll talk about who's coming in for that roster change when we get to it. But yeah, well done to Vancouver. Obviously, they've had an absolutely superb season since bringing Neptune in. I think Neptune's been one of the most valuable players in the league since coming in. And yeah, a reverse sweep, and that guarantees them winners bracket, I think. I think you just need 3 wins for winners bracket. Another Game 5 situation. This one wasn't a reverse sweep, though, but it was a 3-2 win here to Toronto Ultra, and CleanX went absolutely crazy against 2 of his former teammates. Yeah, this was a brilliant series to watch. I mean, I would say everyone played well on the Thief side. I'd say everyone bar maybe Insight played well on the Ultra side. 3-2 win, though. Beans was letting them know at the end of the game. Do love a Ben Beans webcam. Yeah, honestly, this was such a good series to watch. I think it is a 3-team league at the moment. Like, I think it is. No, it's not. I think there's 4 teams. I think there is a top 4 this year. It's just Thieves, FaZe, Ultra, and Surge. Because apart from that final where FaZe beat Surge 4-0, these matchups are normally quite close. So I do believe that they're the 4 best teams in the league, and that Surge and Ultra can beat Thieves and FaZe a lot of the time. Obviously, it's a bit different than having your OpTics in obviously New York Subliners last year. I mean, look at Cloud9 and OpTic now. It's just crazy. But yeah, this was a really good series to close out the weekend. Honestly, the online qualifiers this weekend were really, really good. I think having dealership in the map pool's really good for S&D. Really fun map to watch. I quite like it because it's quite close quarters. So we're going to do our predictions now, but we're also going to look at the CDL standings. So we'll look at the standings first. So FaZe 340, obviously they're making champs. Thieves and Ultra, Surge and Ravens are also all making champs. It's probably going to be FaZe and Thieves the first 2 seeds, which means 7th and 8th would play them in round 1, winners round 1. it's close between Ultra and Surge, and Ravens obviously for third, but I think it'll be between Ultra and Surge at the end. I think Ravens will probably take 5th seed, and then 6 is between Boston, Miami, OpTic, Cloud9, ROKKR. Look, if ROKKR won them game 5s, I would say they could make champs. I'm not so sure now because of that. Oh, I don't know who's going to make champs. Look, it could be the bottom 4 that it is now that don't make champs. Look, Gentlemates and Falcons aren't making champs. Minnesota ROKKR might have, but them map 5s. I think they're a good team, but the map 5s. I don't know. I really don't know who's going to make champs. Do you know what? I'll be a bit biased. I'm still going to say OpTic make champs, but it'll be by the skin of their teeth. I think Miami will make champs now. I've changed my mind on the Heretics. I think Super looks amazing. So then it's between Boston, Cloud9, and ROKKR. Don't know. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with Who do Cloud9 play? Oh my god, they play Boston. And Miami. This is what I mean. These matches for champs are so good. Like these champs qualification ones. Right. Whoever wins this, if Boston beat Cloud9, Boston will make champs, I reckon. If Cloud9 beat Boston, I think Cloud9 could make champs over Boston or OpTic. Right, predictions. Toronto Ultra versus Miami Heretics. Heretics in good form after beating FaZe and OpTic, but I'm going to go with Toronto to win this 3-1. Boston versus Cloud9. I'm going to go 3-2. It's going to be a game 5. I'm going to go Cloud9. So, I think Sib, it's basically, if Sib turns up, I think they'll win. Gentlemates versus Thieves, I guess it's the Battle of LA. We haven't really been talking about that because it's obviously Gentlemates, really, rather than LA Gorillas, but I've got Thieves winning this 3-0. Pretty straightforward. Surge versus Cloud9, I'm going to go 3-1 to Vancouver Surge. Heretics versus ROKKR, this is obviously another big one for that champs qualification. ROKKR, it'll be another game 5, it has to be. I'm going to go with Minnesota ROKKR, you know. I'm going to go with a ROKKR 3-2. And then there'll be 2 and 5 in this split. Obviously, it could have been 5-0, but I'll go ROKKR 3-2. Gentlemates versus Ultra, I'll go 3-1 Ultra. The last match on Saturday is Vegas Falcons versus FaZe. I'm gonna go 3-0 FaZe, to be honest. Boston Breach versus Vegas Falcons. This is actually quite a tough one to predict. I'm gonna go 3-1 Boston Breach though. I think Falcons will win a map, but I don't think they'll win the series. FaZe versus OpTic 3-0 FaZe. I'm not even gonna question that. And the final match of the online qualifiers will be Ravens with their new 4th against LA Thieves, and I think it will be a 3-0 win to LA Thieves. So we're going to look here. So Royal Ravens are targeting Dylan Rex to replace Vivid. Now, there was obviously talk about Dylan Rex being on Minnesota ROKKR last year, but he actually turned the move down, which I think was stupid, but I guess Royal Ravens is a good team for him to be on. Look, this guy's been in challenges for a while, but he's been quite good. Now, he is a rookie, which means the Rookie of the Year ladder. If this move goes through before the next matches, well, it will do because they've already released Vivid Ravens. Yeah, we will be doing a Rookie of the Year ladder. Now, obviously, I don't even know if there is 10 rookies this year. There's all the Saudi players, ROKKR, Super, Lunas, and now Rex. Oh yeah, no, there will be. There will be about 10. I think there might be 10 or 11 rookies this year, but most of them are Saudi players or Spanish players. Yeah, I think this is a good move, though. Look, I've not really watched much challenges this year, but obviously he was on that team with Omit, with Fellow. So, Omit Brooklyn. Yeah, I think Dylan Rex is a good pickup. Obviously, who else really was available? They should have went for Kenny when he was available, but no, I think Dylan Rex is a good move. Like I said, I don't actually know who else is available at the moment. I mean, they could have maybe went because they want someone that can play like that flex role, because obviously like Brax and Mane are, so that wouldn't have really worked because they've already got Slasher. So yeah, I think it's a good choice. Whoever decided to pick them up, if it was Gwyn, if it was Brian Saint, I don't know who it was, but yeah, no, I think that was a pretty good move that's a good move for the Royal Ravens. Right, it's time for MVP ladder. Now, like I've said, we've had a few changes because I've put Kleenex back in the top 10 chat to start with. Kleenex, look, a Boozer. It was basically a Boozer versus Kleenex. I'm going to put Kleenex in the top 10. I'm actually going to put him in 9th ahead of Gwyn. I know I feel bad for Gwyn because I've just kept dropping him down constantly, but... Oh, first we'll do MVP of the week. It is Super. Yeah, it has to be Super from the Miami Heretics. Yeah, brilliant week for the rookie. He looks like he's already a massive upgrade on Lucky already. So yeah, so Gwyn is in 10th, Kleenex is in 9th, in 8th is Abeezy, Hydra is in 7th. Now this is where I said I've changed it a lot. I've put Draza in 6th. Great season, but I think you know, I've kind of forgotten that MVP is the most valuable player. Joe Deceives is in 5th and Scrap is in 4th, which obviously means we have got Neptune in 3rd now. I do believe Neptune deserves to be in this MVP ladder. Look, he's nowhere near the Celium or Simp, but I think 3rd is fair for him for now. So I'm going to put Neptune in 3rd. I just think what he's done to that team, what Neptune has done to Vancouver Surge after Hixie was on the team, is just remarkable. He's made everyone play better. He's probably been the MVP for that team in a lot of the series he's played. He's good online and good at LAN compared to like Gwyn, for example. Yeah, I think 3rd is fair for Neptune, because he's literally turned an entire franchise around. Runner-up at Major 2, runner-up at Minor 2. Realistically now, Surge are a top 4 team. You know, they should be getting 3rd or 4th seed at Champs, which is, like, kind of crazy. It's the best Surge have looked since Vanguard, with Pred, Sib, Mac and Accuracy. Yeah, honestly, he's done a superb job, you know. I could have put anyone from Scrap, Neptune, Joe Deceives, kept Draza on there. I could have even went Hydra, Abeezy, you know, whatever. There's so many good players this year. But I'm going to go with Neptune in 3rd. Obviously, if Rex comes in, the Rookie of the Year ladder will be out for next week as well. I love this MVP ladder segment, by the way, that I added this year. We will be doing this every year now. Because obviously, I have no plans on stopping the roundup. You know, it's only like between 30 minutes and... I mean, we did an hour and a half episode at Champs. Champs, by the way, will probably be another like hour and a quarter episode. Depends on who wins it, really. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with those. Right, and before we end for this episode of the Roundup, we're going to be doing our community question segment for the first ever time. So, the first question that's come in, which was from someone in the comments, I've lost the name, so I do apologise. What inspired me to do the roundup? So the main reason I did the roundup, I was on a walk one day, in like what would it be in like May maybe, April. I mean, it's been about a year since we started the roundup now, which is actually kind of crazy. I think it is about a year now since we did the first episode because it was just after Major 2. Last year, so yeah, it's been about a year now, so massive thank you for the support. But yeah, I was just on a walk and obviously I just thought, oh, I might do something like this on YouTube because obviously I love the flank. I like the breakdown when Scrap and Methods did that Scump and Methods, sorry, did that last year. There's other COD shows out there like Jake Maverick does COD stuff and that, and I just wanted to do something on my YouTube that I could grind and really enjoy, a passion that I can talk about. So that's why I'd like doing Spudball, but I feel like with the roundup, it's really easy for me to talk about. So that was kind of the reason, you know. The thumbnails, yeah, they're pretty easy to make. It only takes me like 5 minutes to find the right image. Obviously, I have the colour code for each team. I know I could have used orange from Miami Heretics, but I decided to go with white with the red text. I quite like that. What I will say, though, is I try and vary the thumbnails because there was a phase where I was just using a lot of OpTic and FaZe ones. Like red and green ones. So it's hard for me to sometimes get the players on that I want to get on, but like I am trying to use different teams. I mean, I haven't used Gentlemates at all this year because I haven't. I would have used Falcons for this episode, by the way, if I hadn't done that 2 weeks ago. I haven't used a Miami one in a while. I haven't used a Surge one in a while. I haven't used Ravens one in a while. You know, it all just depends. I just try and find the right ways to use them, to be honest. But yeah. Next question is ROKKR the clear Rookie of the Year? Yes. Now, I'll say that without doing the Rookie of the Year ladder next week. Yeah, ROKKR is easily Rookie of the Year, and then Xnid second. That's pretty straightforward for me. Final question, what do I think OpTic's targets will be for next year? Yeah, that's a tough one, what OpTic might do next year, to be honest. Dashy stays, in my opinion. Shotzzy probably stays. After that, they bring in 2 new players, and it's kind of the rinse and repeat. But this year, I think it all comes down to how LA Thieves do. Because if that super team does not win any major tournament, like I expect that they should, but if they don't, they are blowing it up. And I could definitely see a situation where Scrap or Hydra could join OpTic next year. I really do see that as a potential opportunity if they decide to blow up, because it costs them a lot of money to construct that team. So if they don't win anything from it, yeah, there might be an amazing team, but if they don't win a tournament, then they might end up. I know they won minor too, but like a major or champs or EWC, they might blow it up. Other players to look out for, I would say, is probably Sib. Or if Toronto Ultra are happy to sell some players again, Joe Deceives could be on there. Maybe Kleenex, but I can't see Kleenex and Insight splitting up, so Joe Deceives could definitely be a shout. If it was me building an OpTic team for next year, I mean, the best OpTic team that you could build would obviously be Scrap Hydra, Shotzzy Dashy. I definitely see a situation where it could be Sib, Dashy, Shotzzy, and Joe Deceives, let's say, next year. Or maybe Neptune. I just don't know, because you've got to remember certain players played better on different games. Like, remember how good Kismet was on MW2 compared to MW3? I know they got to Champs Final and he was arguably could have been MVP at Major 4 when they won, when Subliners won, but regardless. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode of the Roundup. Obviously, one of the best online weekends we've had in a long time. Definitely, it was so good. Massive matches though for these teams trying to fight for champs. Every win is so important, and that's why OpTic losing to Heretics and to Falcons has put them right back in the mix to not make champs. But I think they will get it, but it won't be pretty. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening. This will always be out, of course, on Wednesday, 6 PM. We might have a Lost Records video out then as well, so it could be a double upload. But thanks for watching and have a great evening. Bye for now.